Hello gamers, welcome to our daily news bits here at Gaming Instincts, where we cover the latest news, reports, rumors, and announcements in the video game industry world. If you're new to our channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you won't be missing out. If you're more of a reader, then head to gaminginstincts.com where you can check out our awesome exclusive written articles by our great writers that you won't be finding anywhere else on the internet. With that being said, what are we covering today? We're going to be talking about Naughty Dog's new fantasy game, the return of Uncharted 5 possibly, Fallout New Vegas 2, and Battlefield 6 rumors. Let's go. Alright fellas, we're going to get into it because I know why you're all here, and that's of course because of the video title. Naughty Dog making a fantasy game? What? What are you talking about? Well, according to their senior artist over at artstation.com, which is a place where artists post their work, sometimes personal, sometimes company work if they're allowed to be. And yeah, so if we look at these screenshots here, you can clearly tell it's fantasy. And according to his post, he has said, inspired from a new game, you know what we're talking about. Wink wink. So, I mean, if we know what he's talking about, then I'm gonna assume that he's talking about PS5 games. I mean, who knows, right? I mean, it's not a brainer that Naughty Dog is already hard at work at something for next-gen consoles, or current-gen now, which is the PlayStation 5. Next-gen would be PS6. Let's not worry about that yet. But yeah, so if we look at the pictures here, you can clearly see it's three different women, and it's called Women from the North. So we don't know if these are characters, if these are NPCs or whatnot. We all can tell it's just a fantasy game, and that's it. According to the tones and how it's drawn and things like that, seems like it's a very dark game. That's something Naughty Dog has been recently doing. They went from lighthearted games such as, you know, Jak and Daxter and Crash Bandicoot to a little bit less lighthearted, but still lighthearted, and a little bit more serious Uncharted, and of course super dark, grim and brutal and somewhat evil, I guess you could say, Last of Us 1 and 2. So it's not a surprise they're going with a brutal, dark direction again, but this time with a fantasy game. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at these pictures from left to right, and we're going to talk about them in detail. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the game, and then we're going to move on to the next piece of news. So let's get to it. Okay, so with the first picture here, it's actually titled Dragon Slayer. I actually even looked at the file name when I saved the picture out. So this is indeed a dragon slayer. As you guys can see, she just killed a dragon and now she's sitting on top of him. Seems like it's a recent death because you can still see his eyes are kind of open. So I really like the colors, very dark. You know, she has a very serious look in her face. It was a tough fight, and you know, these are very strong individuals here. So really powerful individuals. I really like the tone here. Exciting stuff. So I'm hoping for some swords and magic. I love that kind of shit. You know, I love sci-fi too, but hey, this also works for me, and this is something new for Naughty Dog. They've never made a fantasy game as far as I'm concerned. Super exciting stuff. Looking at the second picture, guys, you can see that it's a younger woman. Looks like she's from a tribe. When I saved this file out, it did say tribe, so that's where I got that from. So I don't know if that was intentional, if he named these files as hints or whatnot, or just, you know, basically just said what they were from to begin with, and that's fine. That's really cool. And the last but not least, in the third picture, this file was actually called Mage. So clearly, this is a magician. She has a staff. Now, I don't know if this is a warlock type of a magician, or a shaman type of a magician, or just a magician that, you know, casts spells and stuff, or, you know, summons minions and whatnot. You know, she has a headdress of a goat, and a couple of more bones, and of course she's holding a staff with a skull on it. So I don't think she's a healer. She definitely seems like an offensive mage type stuff, you know, that try to hurt you with spells or hurt enemies. Maybe it's a playable character or an NPC that you interact with or part of the main story, who knows. Are these women related to each other in any way or shape or form? We don't know that. We can only just guess and speculate and assume. But with that being said, this is really exciting stuff, man. Really looking forward to see what they do with a fantasy game, assuming that this is actually what they're working on. And I don't see why they wouldn't work on something new, because people have been asking for something new. You know, they want new IP. And I'm totally down for new IPs, man. I think that's usually the most exciting parts about new games and new gen consoles, is that they bring out these new franchises that are awesome and just really cool to experience for the first time ever, and especially if they turn out to be complete masterpieces, right? So this is Naughty Dog we're talking about. I don't think this game is going to be here for a while. I'm thinking around 2023 at the earliest, 2024 more fair, and 2025 more realistic. So this is going to be ways out. Naughty Dog likes to take their time. Let them take their time. Plus, we live in a really weird time right now to begin with, so I don't think development is really easy. And yeah, so, let them do their thing, let them take their time, and hopefully it will be good. With that being said, we're going to move on to the next piece of news. Alright, fellas, we're going straight from Naughty Dog and right into Sony San Diego. Apparently, there's a new studio in the making that will be taking care of their existing IPs. So we're going to take a look at this LinkedIn profile of a person named Michael Mambor. Hopefully, I pronounced that properly. He is a former studio head / senior director of visual arts at PlayStation Worldwide Studios. Obviously a big dude. So, his latest achievement is having built a brand new all-star AAA action / adventure development team for PlayStation. Based in San Diego and utilizing proprietary engine technology, this team was assembled to expand upon existing franchises and craft all new stories for the next generation of gamers. I mean, guys, this is just too obvious that Uncharted 5 is definitely going to be coming back. I mean, I remember reading something about how, Sony wants to take away Uncharted from Naughty Dog simply because they worked on like 4 games already. And I would imagine Naughty Dog themselves are tired of that. So I don't blame them working on, different games and things like that and wanting to do different things. And this is where the fantasy game came from. Hopefully that's exactly what they're working on, as we covered in the last bit of news. But anyway, going back to Uncharted 5, I think there's definitely more room for storytelling. But my thing is that, in my opinion, I think Uncharted is a good franchise. I think it was kind of overdone though, and for me the peak of the game was the second game. Third game was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. And fourth game, visually, was extremely impressive. I think it's a very impressive looking game. But storytelling wise, it was kind of meh, in my opinion. And you guys could disagree with me on that. Just let me know in the comments below. I think it's a good franchise. Definitely deserved, the praise that it got. But I think over time, the fourth game, I already was like, okay, dude, like I'm kind of over it. I want something new. So, yeah, and do I want Uncharted 5? Well, it depends whose story they're going to tell. If it's related to Sully, yes, I like Sully a lot. I think it would be really cool if there was an Uncharted game based on Sully by himself, but that's more of like a side story or maybe a DLC. So who knows, right? They could definitely work with a lot of characters there. It's a pretty big universe and stuff like that. But, Uncharted 5, where's it really going to go? I have no idea. So, whatever. But it is what it is, and do you guys want Uncharted 5? Sound off in the comments below and let us know what you think. But I think the bigger story here really is the fact that Sony has a studio now, or going to have a studio apparently, that will be making new titles in existing IPs. And I think that's the really big picture here, which is really exciting because they could be working on games like, maybe Siphon Filter or maybe Resistance. I would love to see new Resistance, but I would also prefer Insomniac to make that. But who knows? Yeah, there's definitely a lot of IPs they could bring back. So let me know what you guys want to see Sony return from the old days of the PlayStation 1 days or PlayStation 2 days of the IPs that they still own and haven't touched in forever. Yeah, maybe like Dark Cloud? Who knows? But I don't know. I think that's level 5, but I don't know if Sony owns Dark Cloud. I could be wrong on that. I would have to double check, so don't quote me on it. But I would love to see Dark Cloud come back. I just know level 5 games made it. I don't know if Sony owns it. I'm going to assume that they do. So, yeah, with that being said, pretty exciting stuff. It's nice to see new studios being made, especially this time of, the era, and definitely stuff to look forward to. So, with that being said, we're going to go and talk about Fallout New Vegas 2. Alright, fellas, we're going to talk about Fallout New Vegas 2 now. So, according to the owner of VNN, Valve's news network channel on YouTube, or Tyler McVicker, as he's known, is now covering Bethesda and Nintendo games, or companies I should say, as opposed to Valve. Because previously he used to only do Valve, and he was pretty reliable when it came to Valve stuff. And with that being said, the first thing he started talking about recently was the release dates for Bethesda's next games. So according to him, Starfield will be coming out either next year or the year after, followed by Elder Scrolls 6 in 2026 or 2027, and then followed by that with Fallout New Vegas 2, and then followed by that with Fallout 5 in 2030. Fallout New Vegas 2 is looking at the later half of this decade. So, again, 27 to 29, I guess, something like that. Or even 2030, who knows. But these are such scary numbers, and this is so far away, and, we're also in the middle of a pandemic right now that it's kind of hard to even think about that stuff, let alone trying to survive with what's going on in the world. So, I kind of, when it comes to things like this, it's kind of like obvious. Is there going to be a new Fallout game? I mean, you have to be incredibly stupid and ignorant to think that there will not be a new Fallout game. Now, can it be Fallout New Vegas 2 is the question you should be asking. And, after the mess that Fallout 76 was, and I guess you could also say somewhat of a disappointment with Fallout 4, I think Fallout New Vegas 2 would definitely be a good way to win back the fans. Now, how they're going to do it and who's going to make it, I will only be happy if Obsidian makes it, and considering that Microsoft owns them, I can totally see that happen because they also own Bethesda. They can work together. They can bring the people that they need together. So I can totally see it happen. I don't think it's a pipe dream. It's probably a pipe dream for the Fallout fans, but I think it's very feasible and doable. And it makes sense for Fallout New Vegas 2 or a Fallout game to come out after Elder Scrolls 6 because Elder Scrolls 6 is like, it's their turn now. It's the Elder Scrolls turn. Fallout already had its spotlight with 4 and 76 and all that stuff. So, yeah, I think it's gonna happen. Again, these are rumors, people talking, gossips, things like that. I wouldn't take it to heart. Don't say it's gonna happen. Just kind of, don't even think about it. It's so far off. Obviously, there's gonna be a Fallout game sooner or later. It's just a matter of time. And things like that. But the better question is, what do you want to see in a Fallout New Vegas 2? How can Fallout be better with next-gen consoles? Well, with the SSD and, all that stuff, bigger worlds, better AI, hopefully, and hopefully less bugs, Bethesda, please. I beg you. And hopefully, if it is done by Obsidian, then hopefully it's going to have a good story, because otherwise I'm not interested because, Fallout games, all those games need to have a good story to be fun to play besides the gameplay. The story is kind of what drives a lot of those games. That's what Fallout New Vegas is known for, is a really good writing and storytelling. So, as far as what Obsidian is working on right now, I know that they're doing Grounded, which is that early access game, survival game with the little kids and stuff and the bugs and stuff. The actual bugs, not bugs. So, yeah. And I think they're working on an Outer Worlds sequel. I could be wrong on that, but I think it was successful enough to warrant a sequel. They might be doing another DLC as well, but I could be wrong on that. I have to double check. I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, I know Obsidian is busy. These are all Microsoft studios now, so it's pretty excited to see the future. And yeah, I mean, Fallout 5 or New Vegas 2, whatever's coming out, is going to happen sooner or later. So, anyone could have predicted that, but if he actually knows the time frame, that's pretty cool. If he actually has some sort of information, that's really cool. So again, credit goes to Tyler McVicker. Thank you so much. And yeah, what do you guys want to see in a new Fallout game? Are you excited? Are you worried? Let us know in the comments below. And we're gonna end this news piece with Battlefield 6. Alright guys, we got some more rumors to cover here and speculation and gossip, and this time it's about Battlefield 6. So according to Tom Henderson, who is a reliable source when it comes to Call of Duty and Battlefield titles, according to him, the new Battlefield will feature 128 players multiplayer, which is 64 versus 64 on current gen consoles, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, and of course PC. Meanwhile, the old gen versions will only support 32 versus 32. So that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Of course, the old gen versions will be also very downgraded, and the new gen versions will have next gen visuals, better physics, and destruction. Also, 2 teams are developing this game. 1 team for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and 1 team for Xbox Series X and PS5, which is great. So we have 2 dedicated teams working on 2 different platforms, basically, or different generations, I should say. So that's actually a really smart idea. Also, according to him, EA has been really impressed by Warzone's success. They want to do the same thing for Battlefield 6 with its Battle Royale mode. So there's also rumors of that. And apparently, maybe, possibly, there will be a Battlefield reboot or a remaster. Now, which Battlefield reboot and remaster, we have no idea. Will it come before Battlefield 6 or after? We also have no idea. Also, Battlefield 6 is very heavily inspired by Battlefield 3, so it will definitely be modern day Battlefield. So yeah, thanks to Tom Henderson for all this info. Pretty exciting stuff. Definitely looking forward to it. Hopefully gonna be playing this game in October or November. That's usually when they come out. This is probably gonna be the last cross-gen game from EA as far as Battlefield goes. And then hopefully with Battlefield 7, a few years down the line, it's gonna be next-gen only. I mean, it's expected, there's too much money right now in PS4 and Xbox One, so it makes sense why it's a cross-gen title. But the fact that they have two different teams is really cool and actually really smart, so I'm looking forward to playing the next Battlefield game. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this content, please hit that subscribe button. Check us out at www.gaminginstincts.com. Subscribe to our channel, subscribe to our newsletter, and all that good stuff. If you don't like the video, hit a dislike. It's all good. We understand. Not everyone likes everything. So, with that being said, guys, happy gaming, stay safe out there, and have a good day. Peace out.